Hello, hey, it's Patty Sobelman, and I'm welcoming you to the 2022-2023 school year. And the faculty and I have put together another one of our little PowerPoint presentations to try to give you the types of information that will get you from now, the very end of summer, through what we call Compass Night, which is our kind of back to school orientation. And so a couple phone calls have been coming in and people are excited about school and they want to know how to get ready for the first day of school. And so we thought if we put this together for you, you could watch it, you could rewatch it, and then figure it out. So if you give me just a second, I am going to find it and share it with you and we will get going. So 5, 4, 3, let's see, 2, 1. There we go. All righty. So again, our back to school 2022, 2023. Here we go. So presentation is really about food, water, shelter. Most everything else we'll be able to share with you in the next couple of weeks after the school gets started. But this is just getting you to what we call Compass Night. And so we'll talk more about Compass Night toward the end of this, but it's going to take place during the week of August 22nd. So not the first week of school that we're back, but the following week, there'll be a series of meetings that will act again as an orientation, give you an opportunity to meet the families in your class, meet the teachers, see the classrooms, but I know there's a gap between now and then. So we want to make sure we set you guys up for success. There's a number here. See that? 24. Miss Loopy and I put together this slide just to kind of share with you something that we've noticed about why we think this school year is going to be amazing, but it's also going to be a bit of a challenge. And so we're excited. So plus or minus on the very first day of school, we're going to have 24 brand new spanking, we've never been to Pines ever day. So 24 children and their families are going to be wandering around not knowing where they are. So if you see those 24 people, please extend your hand and help them out, but we'll be out in full force that day, but that's very exciting. Also quite funny is that there may be just about 10 or more brand new faculty and staff. Our school is really growing, and so we've invited some more fantastic people to come join us. We even have a faculty member who had been gone for a while and she's coming back. So you kind of have maybe a 1 in 4 chance of talking to a teacher who it may be their first day of school at Pines as well. So just wanted you to know that. The next 2 numbers are very interesting, so buckle up for these. It goes like this: 102 families are new to Pines since 2020. So that's 102 families, or children rather, who their families have not been with Pines without having COVID somehow in their lives, right? So that means that they haven't really experienced Pines at its fullest, right? With us doing absolutely everything that we typically do here. And so we're really excited to present to you how Pines was before that and be even better. And what's really exciting is 222, which is where we are right now, the number of families that will be, or children rather, that will be here in the fall. And that is our highest number in the 45-year history of Pines. And so this is going to be a great year. So we're very excited for that. So, all right, we go on. Things that you can do to make the start of the school year super successful. TADS, you know it, you love it. This is Miss Loopy finding you for your paperwork to update your profile in TADS. Why this is critical, and we're going to hunt you down for it, is TADS has where you're going to tell us who can pick your children up from school, who unfortunately cannot pick your children up from school, your children's allergies, do we have an allergy plan for them, all of your emergency numbers, your financial contracts, your handbooks, all of it lives there. And we just cannot start a school year if someone doesn't have their profile updated. So please respond to her or respond to Miss Joy if you get those little gentle reminders to update that. So that will do that. When you're in TADS, you are going to not only click that you have read the handbook for the ages of your children, you're going to read the handbooks for the age of your children. You might not be surprised about how many people ask us questions that were asked and answered in the handbooks. And I got to tell you, your children's teachers work really, really hard to produce this document that helps you guys know what's going on. And if you kind of would take a really good look at it, then a lot of your questions would be answered. So those will be living in tabs as well. All right, lots of questions about what do I need to buy for the first day of school? And the answer is really nothing, but thank you for asking. But we'll go through some things that you might have that you want to buy that we're just going to say no thank you to. Backpacks. For toddlers through elementary, there's really no reason to have a backpack at school. They're fun. I understand the whole rites of passage of going back to school, but we just don't have the storage or the need for 36 children in a classroom to have a backpack. Because they're so big and empty, children are going to want to fill them with things, and they will. They'll put the remote control in there, they'll put your phone in there, your car keys, and toys, and they don't need them. I will tell you though, if you tell us that your child is going to go home with grandma this weekend and their backpack has all their clothes, absolutely bring a backpack. If your child has something right after school and they need to change into that to go to baseball, tell us that. We can handle those. But the onslaught, again, of 200 kids with all different backpacks is not needed. Where it will be needed is in middle school. And so that's a conversation for the middle school faculty and those students. But other than that, we're not bringing homework home, and there's just no need for it. So that's okay. So one thing you don't have to buy. Also, this stuff, with the exception of middle school that has a small school supply that's unique to them, do not please go to Kroger or Walmart and engage in any school supply list. We don't need this stuff. You're good. Don't worry about that. But what you could buy, and you may already have it, in addition to how do you keep the things that you do send to school safe, label everything. I mean, if you really want it to come home, label everything, every single jacket, every pair of pants, your hat, the shoes, the water bottles. Every month, we send things off to charity. We ask you, we ask the teachers, we ask the children. We've sent emails out saying, does any of this stuff look familiar? When no one claims it, we donate it to charity. So the easiest ways to label stuff that we found is you can get your child's name pre-printed on an iron-on thing. You can print these labels off. They sell this everywhere, these fabric labels, or just get a Sharpie, a fabric Sharpie, and write their names in them. Even if it's just their initials, it really helps narrow it down. Every old navy blue hoodie looks like everybody else's. And so that really, really helps us. So thank you for that. But in terms of clothing, I know lots of back to school sales are happening, and I just want you to know that these are kind of the three big things that we look for in the anatomy of a really great outfit. So we want clothing that is safe, shoes that are safe for children to move in. We want outfits that promote independence. So we'll talk about that for a second. And then outfits that just don't cause a distraction either to the child themselves or to the other children in the classroom. So we'll kind of go through a few scenarios for that. So thank you. The anatomy of a safe shoe is a shoe with a rubber sole that has a heel and a toe. It could be open like this. It could be closed like that. A shoe that they can put on and off by themselves. Now, certainly, when I talk about things, I'm aware that our school goes from infants through middle school. So, bear with me. It's not something for infants, but it is something for toddlers. And I have to tell you, it's something for middle schoolers too. These are shoes that they can get in and out of successfully. So if you want something to do between now and the start of school, have your children start putting their shoes on and off and seeing if they can do that, because we do switch from indoor to outdoor shoes. The anatomy of a good indoor shoe. So the reason we do indoor shoes is we want to keep as much of the outside off of the floor in the classroom. And that's because the children work on the floor. The floor is another surface for them. But when we say indoor shoes, we need a shoe with a rubber sole. So this isn't a slipper, okay? The reason the rubber sole is so important, one is it's safe in the classroom, but we do drills every month that evacuate the building. And the children are standing in the parking lot for several minutes, sometimes, 20 minutes waiting for the all clear. Those shoes have to be solid that they can walk across the car park and stand outside. If we ever had to evacuate the school, our two evacuation sites are Kingwood High School and Bear Branch Elementary. If we had to walk there, we need people wearing rubber-soled shoes, okay? That's why house shoes, slippers, novelty things don't work. This one just made me laugh, but don't bring them, okay? So no pink slippers, no Snoopy, and those up there, those were Freudian slippers. Don't do those either, okay? And that's also why toddlers sleep, and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds sleep with their shoes on in nap, in case we needed to beat feet out of here, their shoes would already be on. So that's super important. So make sure that they can get 2 different types of pairs of shoes on and off. Indoor shoes live at school, they spend the night here. Your outdoor shoes they walk home with, they come back in and they switch them in the morning, and label those as well. Thank you, and please. Shoes to save for home. So as our girls start wanting to wear fancy shoes, these are best saved for home, but also the little girl ones like this. These are a distraction, and their ankles can bend in them, and they step on people's fingers, and they're not good in mulch or sand, okay? I'm not saying I don't love them. I'm just saying home's a great place for them. Cowboy boots, wellies, super cute cowboy boots when we do Go Texan Day in February, I think that is. Wellies are super cute too, but if you're wearing them to school, it means it's wet outside, which means we're probably not playing outside. And either that or their feet are just sweating in them and getting blisters. So just the really super cute stuff at home, just simple pairs of shoes. Also, sneakers that have lights, if they become a distraction, the teacher will tell you. The children like to stomp on them so they can see them blink, and then it takes away from what they're working on. So, and for toddlers, I couldn't make a sound on this video, but these are the types of shoes that squeak every time they take a step. We know where your children are. We don't need them to all squeak around the classroom. And so sometimes we've had to send this home too. So just bear with us and send things that are just safe and not a distraction. On to independence, the cute novelty t-shirts, but this one are the ones that snap at the crotch. Infants, that's perfectly fine, but in toddlers, we're working on independence. And so if they need to go to the bathroom, they have the sense that they need to go, but now they have to wrestle with getting their pants off and unsnapping their shirt. That's too much, okay? And so as super cute as these are, just infants is great, but toddlers on up, we don't need them. These one-piece rompers that we see a lot of girls having, they're adorable, but if you can just bear with me, they're going to go to the bathroom, they have to take their entire outfit down and their panties, so they pretty much are completely naked. If they get their feet out of them, then they can't really get back into them. So now they walk out of the bathroom with their outfit in their hand and they're completely naked. There's just really no reason to put your child in that situation that they couldn't go to the bathroom for themselves. To not pick on girls, overalls for boys, also kind of the same thing. That's a lot of fabric and things to fall down. And I did share with the faculty that when I was a very young teacher, I had a girl wear overalls. She sat on the potty, she flipped them off. The back of the overalls went into the dirty wastewater, but also when she stood up and turned around to flush, her outfit got sucked into the toilet with her. So just, they're cute, but just for independence and safety, let's not. And even sneakers that just are too complicated for them to put back on. And so just something for everyone. So just keep your eye for that when you're looking for those outfits. And then distraction, this is a big category, so just play with me. Those types of shirts where kids can make them sequence goes up and down. If your child can pull that off and there's not a problem, then that's fine. But there are children who play with it all day long, or they invite other people to touch them to play with it. And so if that is a distraction, we will ask that to stay home. Novelty hats, things like this, bracelets that look like everybody else's bracelets. If something comes to school, your child needs to be prepared that if it does get damaged or lost, that they should be okay with it. And if they're not okay with losing their bracelet or, or their earrings, then they shouldn't wear those at school. And that may be a nice conversation point for you. Wow, those earrings are really important, or you really like those. Those are super fun. But if those stayed at home, we knew they would be safe. And if you wear them at school, they might fall off on the playground or something might happen. And a little out of sequence, those princess dresses, super cute, but if we can have real clothing and not novelty clothing, that would be helpful, because sometimes when children are wearing character clothing, they become that character, right? I mean, that's what a costume is. You put it on and you become that person. And so if those could stay home, that would be great too. So thanks for that. Water bottles, hydration, especially on a day like today, which is super hot. So the faculty has suggested some better choices for water bottles. So those giant ones, which might feel like I fill it up one time and that's great, are just really too big and cumbersome, especially when they spill or they can't hold them. So just make sure that the one that you choose for your child is something they truly can hold in their hand. Okay, so that's one thing you want to look for. Glass bottles, totally get they're eco-friendly, but they're not safe on campus. We have had them shatter before. And while we're looking at that, can you see that the top of that completely comes off? And so if you're looking for a water bottle, if you could have one that they could just pull up and squeeze, or it flips out a straw, that would be great. But when they have to keep up with the bottle and the lid, that's an opportunity for something to get lost or dirty. And so ideally it's an all-in-one unit. Also, this isn't the time to spend a ton of money on them. And so we did have a $60 Yeti bottle go missing recently. We really just don't need the big name brand. So just a nice solid water bottle. And then also, if it's an emergency and your child forgot your water bottle and in the back of the car, you've got a case of disposable water bottles, that's fine. But again, having 200 children who every day bring a plastic bottle, that's just a lot of consumer waste. And although we have recycling and we will recycle it, just a reusable water bottle would be awesome. If you do want to shop for something, we usually ask for some offbeat things. So the squirrel corn is something you can shop for because they live in front of the school and they like that. Miss Humera and our gardens would love some soil or compost. So if you feel like doing that, bird seed is awesome. Also, just a little bit of a sneak peek, we will have a kitchen shower soon. Chef Liz and Chef Paula are putting together a list of things that you could purchase for us to celebrate the grand opening of the Kitchen Connections classroom. And then we also every year put out what we call a TAPS list. It's thinking about pines, and it is just an offbeat, eclectic grouping of things that the teachers would like to have. Like if you have extra wicker baskets at your house, I know yoga mats have made that list. So if you have an extra yoga mat at the house you're not using. And so just kind of be looking forward to that list. Will probably be the top of September when that goes out, but we really just don't need the conventional things at school. But we really appreciate you thinking about that when that list comes out. All right, keeping in the kind of food and drink area, we really think of food as fuel, which means that when you are packing a lunch, if you are bringing a lunch to school, which is wonderful, just think of it as, are these going to be calories that are going to propel my child to have the energy they need for the rest of the day? Or is this a fun food with maybe empty calories that won't really help for a school day? We're not judging the things that people eat. It's just we're looking for fuel at school. So we will ask no sodas, really no sugary drinks at all, because it's just going to be sugars that are going to end and then we're going to drop. I usually tell families in the morning, just please don't send us anything that rhymes with Shipley's. So when you send your child to school with a little bag of donut holes, you really have set both the teacher and your child up for a day that's probably not going to be as successful. That sugar is going to drop, and that's going to happen. And candies and sweets, we're aware that a little token of love sometimes comes in sweets. But if that could be maybe a handwritten note and those sweets saved for home, it just enters into the conversation all sorts of things about sharing food and having it in the classroom. And there's just other times of the day to eat that, which also leads me to peanut butter. Although we are not a peanut-free school, what we do ask everyone, faculty, children included, is if there are, 3 meals a day times 7 days of the week, if 5 lunches could not be peanut butter, and you could eat peanut butter for breakfast and wash your hands and peanut butter for dinner and on the weekends, then the children who do not yet know that they have a peanut allergy can have an environment where there is no peanut butter. So unless we come to you and say we have a critically ill child who cannot have peanut butter right now, just running as a school that saves peanut butter for breakfast and dinner and the weekends has worked beautifully for us. So we just thank you in advance for saving that for home. All right, lastly, water bottles, just please fill them with water. That's it. We've discovered some other Gatorades and things in them. Water is really what the children need. They do have the opportunity to refill that water all throughout the day. All the classrooms, all our areas have fresh water for that to be refilled with. And then if you are bringing food from home, if you can find a container that has a lid that your child can use, then things that you pack that were packed for it to be cold will still remain cold for lunch. And if you have warmed them and packed them to be warm, they will remain warm for lunch. We are not offering microwave use for every single child to microwave all their lunches. We don't have enough time in the lunch day to make that happen. And so send them in the containers they can open for cold or for hot, and they'll do brilliantly. We see it all the time. It works quite well. If you choose to order lunch, this is not a stock photo from the internet. This really is snack that's been plated by our faculty and given to the classrooms. You're going to get a form. It's going to look a lot like this from Miss Joy. It's broken down by infants and toddlers / primary, elementary, and then middle school, how many meals there are in a year. You can purchase it all at once. You can pay off it monthly if you want to do that. This is a better view of that. So you check that off. We do pizzas on Friday, and so that has the 33 Fridays of the school year that's an offer. What's most important when you fill that out is to choose which option you want, but also notice that if you are not choosing the whole year at once, then we need to always have 2 weeks advance notice. So please do not call us on Monday and say, she forgot her lunch, I'd like to put her on hot lunch today. Foods have already been ordered and purchased, and prepared and portioned off. So that's not really a possibility for us. Some families can drop a lunch by. We've even had like DoorDash bring lunch to children if everything at home collapsed and we weren't able to get you on lunch in time. So 2 weeks notice, please. And then the faculty will put out menus for you to see, and those will be posted in the classroom and online for you. So we have the lunch menu, a general selection lunch menu, a vegetarian lunch menu, and you can jump back and forth if you want to order 2 lunches on the general and then 2 on the vegetarian, that's fine. And we'll make sure those correct portions get to the classrooms. We'll also list for you the snacks that are happening in the day, both the AM snacks and the PM snacks, so that you know. And if we have to change those for some reason, like we ordered bananas but they were unavailable, then we'll swap that out for something else. But these are the menus that are actually current right now, so yay for that. Ooh, super important, if you haven't done this already, and I'm sure many of you have, put our phone number in your phone, please. Okay. Why this is important is that sometimes if you have an unfamiliar call, hit your phone, you're not going to answer it. If it's us, we really wish that you would. We also hope that if you see we've left a message, listen to the message before you call us. We get a lot of, I have a missed call. And then the thing is, we've already left you the message. So you can kind of keep that in sequence, but make sure that we pop up to the top on your phone so that you know that we're there. And then if you ever need us to tell us something, that you're calling us right away. So if you're ever running late, if you know your child is not coming to school, if they're ill for any reason, call us, always call us. We count every single head every single day, and we have to call you if we don't hear from you. And so you're really important to us, and we want to know where you are and how you're doing. So call us first or email us so that we don't have to call you, which would be helpful. All right, we're getting ready to do a very dramatic presentation that I really hope I can get through without any errors, okay? So it goes like this: arrival and dismissal. We do this successfully every single day, 5 days a week. Oh, I have a little sad child walking past my office. It's okay. It's okay. They're dismissing. It's all right. But the message is to breathe, okay? Because again, we have over 200 families. Some of them are new. Some of them might be being picked up by grandma and she doesn't quite know how we do this. And so we are going to embrace the fact that every single person is doing the best that they can every single day, okay? We're going to ask for no honking, no aggressive jockeying, no kind of jumping the queue, no creative picking up, okay? Every single child comes to school and every single child will go home every single day. And no amount of trying to get ahead of us and trying to do things faster is going to make it safe or efficient, all right? So with the spirit of that, we move on. One thing that helps Carline go really, really fast is if you have applied bug spray and sunblock at home. If you do that at home, what's going to happen is by the time you get here, it will then reach its peak of efficacy and will be ready for your children to go right out to the playground. It will last all morning, right? And if your child is in extended care, then we have it on campus and we will apply again for extended care, okay? But if you're trying to get out of the car and spray them down, that's just one more thing that's going to slow us down. And we're kind of NASCAR pit crew with this, and we can do it, but we need your help with that. All right, so here we go. If you have an infant enrolled in our school, regardless if you have other children, and you choose to arrive between the high holy times of 8 to 8:20, which is the school's arrival, and dismiss between 3 and about 3:20 or so, then what we want you to do is something that we've never asked of you before. So really kind of pay attention. We want you to park in the middle school parking lot. And I made this little graphic, so it is not at all to scale, but it's not that far away. We are going to designate some spots over there for you and no one else, so that you have a place to park your car and get out. That will just be you. In the back will be particular faculty spots. No other person should be in that parking spot, okay? Toddlers, primary, lower, upper, no bueno, not you. There's very few spots back there. So please don't use that. Infant parents, you're going to walk through the little pathway that we have there. And some of you already know this. And then you're going to walk around the front, and that's going to get you to infants. And it's because infant families must drop off. There's no car line for infant families. So I hope that that makes sense for you. And yes, you're going to walk them to class. Sorry, trying to get the next transition. The other thing that you need to hear, and you hear this on every single slide, when you come out of our parking lot and it's in these high holy times, Cedar Knolls has school buses from Kingwood High School to and from, school buses Kingwood Middle School to and from, school buses Bear Branch Elementary to and from, our cars, yeah, and everybody else who uses our road, okay, and a lot of high school drivers. So I am begging of you, if you do not have an absolute, complete, clear shot to take a left out of our parking lot, take a right and just make your way around the block, okay? Because if you're sitting there with your turn signal on trying to find the best way to get left, you could back everybody up, okay? There's always a way that you can get around the neighborhood by just taking a nice gentle right and adding a few seconds to your journey. So thank you for that. All right, if you only have an infant and you can arrive a little bit after 8 or before 3 o'clock, like maybe 2:40 in the afternoon, before the cars start arriving for dismissal, then you're most welcome just to pull in the front laneway and use your badge, okay, to get into that gate, which we call the Peace Garden gate, and that will get you to infants. So if you don't want to mess with everything I just said, then that's fair. And chances are you probably can take a left and a right out of the parking lot because not a lot of people are on Cedar Knolls. All right, you have a primary and a toddler, or one of each. You're going to enter, and at this point, this one means, sorry, that you do not have any elementary or middle school students. These are the only 2 types of kids you have. So what's going to happen is you're going to enter and you're going to follow my little cars. I did this illustration all by myself. If somebody on this call is a graphic designer, call me. But you're going to pull around, okay? There'll be a team of teachers waiting there to help you and walk your child up to class. But we're only going to service those cars in the very beginning. So if you're that blue car, that orange car, that brown car, stay put. Do not pop out of the car. Do not try to cut around. If a teacher says it's okay, pull up, that's when you pull up. But that's where that nervous jockeying happens, where people start to jump the queue, okay? When we clear those cars, we're going to pull the next whack up, okay? You are going to put your car in park. You're going to get out and unbuckle your child, okay? And then we're going to take them. But that means they must be ready. And by ready, I mean, we're not eating in the car. We're not watching the end of a movie. We're ready because we're going to come to the car, say good morning, and invite you out. Okay. Close your door and you pull away. So you're going to pull away. And then again, don't take that left. You're going to take that right because of all the nonsense in the street that we've talked about. All right. Now, you're a toddler or primary family, but you do have a lower, an upper, or a middle school student. Not that hard, same thing. You're going to come around. We're going to service about the first 3 cars, but once everybody's out, your toddler or your primary student and your elementary and middle school student, what's going to happen now is you're just going to drive away, mind yourself on the street, and then we're going to let your elementary students walk independently to their classrooms. We're still in the front, so we as faculty are watching them and we go, I see you, you go to class, you're good. So they're not unsupervised, okay? Again, all the nonsense in the street. You with me so far? Sorry, and I'm talking faster than I normally do because I really value your time, but we got a lot to tell you, so I'm trying to get there. All right. Toddler and primary dismissal only, okay? So now you are picking up. If you haven't noticed this, toddlers and primary students have a 3 o'clock dismissal. Elementary and middle school have a 3:15 dismissal. Those dismissal times are different. We got you. Just come for the 3:15 dismissal, okay? You're gonna pull in the front driveway and you're not gonna park in the big, you're not gonna do the big car line. You're just gonna come to the front driveway, and we're going to reunite you with your other children. So at that spot will be your elementary child, and we will reunite you with your infant and your toddler. We bring the siblings to the front of the school. And so that has worked really successfully. So you are a lower or an upper family, doesn't matter, with siblings or without siblings. This is dismissal for elementary. So really pay attention here too. We have cones set out. Upper will be closest to the front office. Lower is dismissing closer to the elementary building, okay? And so you don't need to go to the side parking lot at all. All right, here we go. Cars pull through, right? Upper elementary families only. Once you receive your student, you may exit in between those bushes. Do you see that? There's like a section in between that we hang a yellow chain. We'll drop that chain, and upper elementary families can exit that way because upper elementary kids can get in the car faster. Now, what differs between lower, upper, and toddler primary is there is no reason for you to get out of the car. You sit, we pop open the car, they jump in, they buckle themselves, or you can turn around and give them a quick click, but they can go on their way. But it's not a time to ask big questions and have big conversations. We need for you to kind of efficiently move on. Lower families are going to start queuing at the front of that line, okay? And then we're going to start loading kids in there too. You're going to exit, but not between the bushes. Your exit at the end. And again, make sure that you're trying as much as possible to take that right out of there. A lot of people in the street. Also, that purple and red car in the street, they kind of create a turn only lane because those folks are Pines folks waiting for their turn to get in, okay? And so the only way to enter is at the top of the drive. Under no circumstances do you ever enter in between the bushes there, okay? Don't call an audible and make up your own ways. All right, if you are dismissing without any siblings, again, you're just gonna move on your way and get out. That's upper elementary. You'll see your children, you'll see the faculty that you know at the front, and then you're gone, okay? Lower elementary, they're at the front, like we just said, and they're gonna pull out. But there is something special about lower elementary that upper elementary families need to understand. It's called passing on the left. So once all the lower cars leave, we can accept new cars to lower. The only way they can get there is if they pass the upper elementary cars that are parked on the left. So they have permission to do this. See this orange car? This is such high graphics. It's amazing. There you go. They can pass you. So you have to be looking. There'll be teachers there to remind you, but those are the only people who can do that. Okay, so just keep an eye out for that. Once you figure it out, it's golden. Okay, it works. It's been working for years now. And again, I put this last piece in, don't ever enter through the middle, but we've already discussed that. Sorry, there you go. There's that. We're almost done. We're in middle school. All right, middle school parking lot. Middle school dismisses at 3:15 on days that students are not staying for tutorials. That dismisses at 4:30. Most everybody's gone by 4:30, so the parking lot will be quite empty. There is a yellow chain that hangs in the middle school parking lot that keeps the neighborhood from making U-turns in their parking lot during the school day. Those chains are there. We'll go over the times that they drop and whatnot, but these front spots, like we said before, are there for infants, right? The back spots are there for the faculty. So middle school families, you've got a bunch of spots in the middle. So if you're picking up at 3:15, just park your car in there and wait, your middle school student will come out to you and then you can just pull out. There is no big U-turn in there. That chain, it closes the lot at 8:30 in the morning, which is when all the infant families should have arrived. If you arrive, infant families, and the chain is up, just go to the front driveway. And then we'll take it down at 2:30. And so if an infant family is arriving, it's waiting for them. And if a middle school family is picking up, it's waiting for them. But if you see openings and you are not an infant or middle school family, drive on, okay? Those spots are not for you, so please help us with that. With all the extra faculty and extra families, we will have very limited parking in the big parking lot for families that want to park their car and walk up and get their children. While you're still welcome to do that, the parking spots will be a little tighter this year. And if you park on the street, again, remember all of that cross traffic. So if you're just parked there, you're really going to jam it up. So car line is your friend. We can get you in and out. Okay. Whew. We are, yes, you know about left and right, you know about the street. Okay. What you need to hear us say is we got this. We really do. We have spent an inordinate amount of time practicing this and we can do it. But you need to tell absolutely everyone who picks up your children about this, okay? Or at least get them to be slightly aware of it. So, because that's what happens is it takes a grandma who doesn't know to jam it up, a babysitter who wasn't told to do it wrong, and we want to be helpful, okay? Again, elementary, do not get out of your car. Toddler and primary, get out as quickly as possible. Oh, only unbuckle your child when you are right at the teacher. We did have this last year where children were unbuckling when they were in the parking lot, but nowhere near where the teacher was, which means we have untethered children in the parking lot. And the parking lot is a parking lot. It's not safe. So if somebody's foot slips off the brake and they hit you and your child isn't tethered, just wait, okay? Although we want you to do things quickly, safety is not something we want to compromise. Which also means if they're buckled in, they're not hanging out the windows and they're not standing up through the sunroof screaming and yelling. Again, you get rear-ended by someone whose foot slips or they're not paying attention, and we have a projectile child. So just stay really seated until we're ready. We really try to make things as safe as possible, but if you don't have the right car restraints or you're not buckling your children in, that's on you. We have had people pull up and not have the proper car restraints. We do have an all-purpose car seat here. If you call us in a panic, you've switched into a loaner car and you don't have a car seat, come find us. We do have a convertible car seat that works from infants through elementary. And so don't panic, but I would rather you borrow the school's car seat than to buckle your child in something that's not safe. So please let us see if we can help you. And we talked about limited parking, but if you are choosing to walk your child up to class, make sure that that teacher eyeballs you before you leave them. Go, good morning, hi, here he is, have a nice day. But if we just look and a child appears, we may not look and your child may appear. So just let us make eye contact with you, especially when we're handing them off to you. Don't wave at them and have the child run across the street to you. Make your way up to us so we can acknowledge you. All right, leave infant spots alone. I think we covered that. Extended care. So you're in extended care. All the traffic's gone away. The parking lot is nice and empty. And so where you're going to go is you can park in the big parking lot, or you can parallel park like that little purple car is doing, or you can be like this red car and park in the front driveway if you're just going to be, you know, the moment that it takes for you to go and scoop your child up from the car line. Okay. The badges work at the butterfly gate and the Peace Garden gate. So by my office and then over in the middle. Okay, so all of that works there. But at all times, extended care, especially because I see this a lot and sometimes in the morning, turn your car's engine off and lock your vehicle when you leave. You know, where they say that most accidents happen closest to home because we get kind of comfortable. We are just as vulnerable to theft and things going wrong. So we have had cars parked in the front driveway. Mom goes to the classroom to go pick up the child. By the time she comes back, somebody has rifled through their car and stolen their purse. True story. True story, car parked, engine on, left the dog in the car. That's another thing. Dog jumped from the back seat to the front seat, put the car in gear. Car is driving itself with the dog out of the parking lot. Miss Patty running after it, trying to stop the car. Just turn your engine off. I know it's hot out, but just give it a few seconds. You'll be fine. Take all your children with you if you park your car. I've been blown away by people who are like, oh, I left the car on, he's in the car, I'm just running in to get. The whole gang comes out, okay? Because we're not leaving the engine running. No pets left in the car either. Sometimes you get chatting with the teacher about something, and the next thing we know, your dog's been in the car for 30 minutes. Please, let's not have that happen. Wait until you get to your car to remote start it if you have that possibility. Again, an idling car makes us really nervous here, so help us. And I'm sorry to sound like a doomsdayer, but I wouldn't tell you these things if it wasn't true. So it is. All right, badges. The line I wrote there is they really work. You know, I live right next to the gate, and several times a day I get swiping of the card and then somebody saying it doesn't work. It is working. The reason the gate isn't opening is that your badge only works before school if you're enrolled in morning care, and it only works after school if you're enrolled in aftercare. If you come to school late at 9 in the morning, your badge is working because it's not letting you in, okay? So if it's not working, come to the front office, right? Oh, when it is working, it's not opening the gate, come to the front office, right? And we'll help you out. So morning care. Oh, I didn't tell you this. Game changer. Okay, morning care families. We now have a new ability with our programming of the badges. The gate at the bottom of the staircase going up to the main campus for morning care will now be closed. Your badge will now enable you to use the gate like you do in the afternoon. So you're going to park your car, walk up to the butterfly gate by me, and that will let you in. So the one at the bottom. If you exit that way, but please close that gate. We're no longer going to leave that open in the mornings, all right? I haven't even told you guys yet. You're the first to hear that. Yes. All right. Afternoon care, your card works from 3 o'clock or 3:15 dismissal to 6:30. Okay, that's where your card is. If you lose your card, please tell Miss Joy. We need to issue you a new one, and more importantly, we need to cancel this one. These cards only work if you guys make sure that we're safe, and if you've lost one, we don't want somebody else to have access to our property. So like I said, your cards only work during these times. Late to school, the cards won't open the gate. Like I said, they work. Please close the gate after you. I know that you're really very kind and generous and wonderful people, but if you leave the gate open because somebody's come up behind you, then what happens is you might not know them, or they might not be able to pick up anymore. Maybe they're not even enrolled anymore. Just be nice and say, I need to close the gate. They'll understand, and they should have their own card. And if they don't, they need to go to the office and get left in, okay? Don't let anyone follow you. Don't be like, I got it, everybody come. Please don't do that. Why did we put the gate system in if we're letting everyone in? And again, forgot your card, go to the front office and we'll let you in, okay? So good, or you can call if you need, if it's during school hours. Don't break in. Something else that we've noticed, you forgot your card. And so you're going into the playground gates, right? This gate that goes to the big field, but people are climbing up into the toddler playground, opening our evacuation gate and walking through. That is at least a size 12 man's shoe walking in the direction from the child's evacuation gate toward the school, okay? Don't do that. I know you've lost your key, your card, or you're running late, but this is a child's playground, and it's not open. The sign even says that we're not open, we're in session. All you have to do is go to the front and we'll help you out, okay? So please don't break in anymore, and tell your friends don't do that. It's also not your best look to see you tromping through, so please. I promise we're really close. Compass nights. We offer these nights through an entire week in August. So the first set of nights is for primary. This year, class 5 will do theirs on August 22nd. So if you have a child in class 5, it is our expectation that every single family have a represented at every single meeting, okay? Really can't state it any other way. You are going to make a plan to come to these meetings because your classroom teachers have worked really hard on these meetings, and these meetings will set you up for success in what's happening in the classroom. Plus you get to meet everybody. So if you're class 5, Monday, August 22nd is your night. Tuesday is your night if your child's in class 4 and 6. If you have a child in class 5 and class 4, you're coming 2 nights, because those meetings are different, because 2 different classrooms have 2 different messages, okay? If your meetings are both for class 4 and class 6, send a spouse to each one. And if you really need help outside of that, we're here to help you figure out which one you should go to. Lower elementary. We have 2 lower elementary classrooms now, North and South. Both of their meetings are being held on the same night, and that's on Wednesday, the 24th. So if you have a child in both those classrooms or either of those classrooms, that's that night. Then upper elementary, infants and toddlers, your night is Thursday. We couple these together because very rarely does someone have an infant and a upper elementary student. But if it happens, we're here to help you figure that out, okay? But there's more. We've got more ways to help you. So you're going to start putting these on your calendar, and we'll push out more messages for you on that. So the way the evenings work is all the meetings are from 6 o'clock to 7:45, okay? We are providing dinner for children and adults. So there's really actually no reason to go home. Just come straight to Pines and we'll feed you both, okay? So that's that. From 6 to 6:30, what you're doing is you're parking your car and you're signing your child into childcare. If you had gone home already, you're going to come back. If your child is in extended care and we know you're coming, then we'll just roll them into the after school care that we will provide to keep all the children that need to be kept so that you guys can go to the meeting. Okay, so there is extended care, or actually extended care in the evening for that entire week so that you guys can go to these meetings, all right? Also during this time, you are going to hang out with the families in your class. You get to eat some dinner and introduce yourself and get to meet people that you've maybe never met before or only met remotely. And so we're excited to bring this kind of social hour back. So that'll be 6 to 6:30. And then your meeting is 6:30 to 7:45. And that's a meeting with your child's teacher, with the other families in the classroom. Your children are in an age-appropriate after-school care with our faculty. So in general, our extended care faculty will stay later to have all your children. If you have a student who's not enrolled in Pines and you need care for them, let us know that too. And there's a really good chance that we can help you out with that. So that's not a problem. If you have an infant that is not enrolled in Pines, your infant may come as a babe in arms. but we're not comfortable keeping an unenrolled infant because we just don't know your baby that well and their feeding schedule and their temperament. But you may carry your baby with you, but all other children must be in extended care because this is an adult meeting, okay? And all that's free, no charge for dinner, no charge for the after school time for that. Like I said, 100% attendance is expected at this meeting. Every time someone misses something like this, we see the ripple effect throughout the year, and we would just hate for you to feel like you're not confident and you haven't met people and you don't know what's going on. And again, the faculty just works so hard to make this such a special night. So, and we haven't had one in 2 or 3 years, so we're really excited to bring that forth. So, and that's where all of the other information will land for you to have a really successful year. The way you're going to RSVP to this is we're going to create a Google survey. We're going to send that out to you and you're going to fill out the survey. We're coming on this night, so we know how much food to order for you. We need childcare for these children. This child needs, who's not enrolled, might need care. And so we can start plotting and planning that. So I see that going out not too far from now. Okay, don't want to do it too soon, it'll get lost. But yeah, so it might be on, we might put the link on the Pines PCO page, and we might just send the link out directly. So either way, you'll get a handle of that. So there's our squirrel that always loves squirrel food, lives in front of us. Everyone is excited about this. First day of school is August 15th. I think you guys know that. That Friday, we're going to do Pines Cones, which is our snow cone machine that Miss Loopy named Pines Cones. And it's going to be a play in the park in the backyard. Come after school, play with your children, get to meet people again, and have some snow cones out there with us. And then the week of the 22nd, our compass night. So whew, that was a lot. So thank you. We really thank you. I cannot tell you how thrilled we are. We're really grateful. This is going to be an amazing year. I think you saw a lot of people coming and going behind me because it's extended care, and people are picking up and going because we're here right now. So if you've been gone all summer, we can't wait to have you back. If you've been here all summer, boy, it's going to be wonderful when our whole family is back together. So on behalf of the faculty and staff, we're getting ready for our 45th school year. So buckle up. I'm going to end this. And I'm going to get large again, because I think that's just how it goes, where I'll get to say goodbye to you. There you go. Okay, goodbye. And have your kids watch this if they want to know what's happening at the school. The construction is almost done in lower elementary, and the new kitchen connections classroom and the new laundry area. We're actually going to do a little surprise remodel to the front office to give the faculty a more efficient workroom and a better lounge. And so that's happening. We just never take a beat over here, and we love it that way. So again, goodbye, and we will see you all soon.